Welcome, everyone. Yeshua blessings. If you have children, I'm going to ask you to please take them out of the room. I pray that my testimony does not trigger anyone. In Yeshua's name, I pray not to bring harm to anyone. And may the Holy Spirit talk through me and guide my wind. And may I continue on giving my testimony about what it was like in a deep underground military base, Adam. Hi, Meek Dad. I'll address my chat room at the end. With all due respect, forgive me. I would like to stay focused. As you all know, I had a great loss to my life recently, and I figured, well, I cry sporadically through the day and night, but I figured since evil and wicked do not rest, then neither should I. I have Yeshua's living light shining through me. So evil persons and wicked cannot hold a candle to me. So I pray to have Yahweh, Heavenly Abba, behold the hand, behold the nail, Yud-Ha-Veh-Ha, our great grand almighty I am, utilize me. So I made some notes. This is probably going to be another long video. During this video, I'm going to jump around. I have fragmented memories, so I'm still piecing everything together. But I would like to continue on to tell you what it was like for me. I need a pen, excuse me. When I was a young child in a deep underground military base, I'm not sure where we were, but I believe that I was in a room with 3 other super soldiers. We may have approximately been 10, 11, 12 years old, all of us. And I remember sitting there with 3 other children. I believe they were boys. And we were all talking. And we were all about to be sent in deeper into these MK Ultra mind control projects. Whether it's Project Ibis, Project Beta, Project Seagate, Project Looking Glass, Project Pegasus. Then you also have Project Delta. You have Gamma. Project Monarch, Project Mannequin, and the list goes on from there. In deep underground military bases, from my understanding and research and studies, excuse me if I'm straining my voice or trying to talk, but from my understanding in deep underground military bases, there's hundreds of MK Ultra projects. So this all goes back to Project Paperclip. At the end of World War II, there were thousands of Nazis who escaped Germany, and repercussions and consequences of what they did in Germany. And in Project Paperclip, they were brought over to America, South America, Canada, Argentina, or Brazil. Thousands of Nazi soldiers were brought over here, at least to America, to continue on with their human experimentation. So in my mind, technically, they never lost World War II. Anyway, I was sitting in a room with 3 other boys, and they were talking. We were talking, and they were about to send us deeper into these MK Ultra mind control projects. And we were talking about what it would be like to be free. And then we were also talking about what it would like to be stuck in these projects. And we all made a pact to come back for each other should we get free. One little boy said to me, "Holly, you're too scared. You'll forget all about us." And I said, "No, I will remember you and I'll come back for you." So we made a pact not to forget each other. And if any one of us got free, we would go back for the others. So since my sources and resources are limited, the best I can do is give you my testimony so that through this, I can go back for the other children and not forget about them. From my understanding, these projects are still ongoing and funded by your tax dollars. And this is happening all over the world still to this current day. It did not stop. The things I'm telling you about with MK Ultra mind control and with child sacrifice and what they do to children, this stuff that I talk about dates all the way back to Babylonia, back to Babylon. It dates back to time periods that the Old Testament talk about. Excuse me if the correct wording to explain myself eludes me. I'm doing the best that I can. But I made a pact to these children that I would not forget them and I would go back for them. So in giving you my testimony, I feel this is the best I can do to honor that promise we all made to each other. And it's the best that I can do to continue remembering the children. Where to start? Recently, over the past couple of months, I began recalling more memories. And in one of those memories, I don't know where we were, me and the other kids, but in my fragmented memory, I remember waking up from, it looked like a dentist chair. I woke up from it. It seemed like I had hospital attire on, like a hospital gown. And I tried to get free from this chair, and I did. And I sat up and I tried to get up. I'm not quite sure, but I believe there was a white lab coat in the room with me. But I got up and I tried to stand on my own 2 feet, and I made it to the door. And when I opened the door, I tried screaming for help. When I looked down, I remember tubes coming out of me, just tubes hanging out of me from my torso and from my arms. I tried to make it into the hallway and I kept screaming, "Help me, I need help. I have these tubes in me, help me, help me." And these people just kept walking by like I was an apparition or a ghost, and they didn't even see me or acknowledge me. My memory stops from there. I believe that was a MyLab, military laboratory experiment that they were doing to me. This next part, I think it's important that your children aren't here. I understand that I've talked about trauma and torture and electrocution, but this is another part of my testimony that I feel young children should definitely not be exposed to. So if you have children, take them out of the room. And if you feel funny talking about sex, this probably would be the time for you to stop watching me. As I said, I believe that I was in Project Beta. That was not only I believe that Project Beta was sex training. So I'm going to tell you my memories of what that was like going through that in a deep underground military base, as well as other places that continued on that sex training. When I was a young girl of about 13 years old, I was in a dump. I'm going to tell you my memory. I was brought into a room and there was another little boy. And there were 2 white lab coats standing there watching us. These 2 white lab coats proceeded to tell me and the little boy what to do to each other. They directed us through sexual intercourse. They watched us. So me and this little boy were in the room. They told us what to do. We had to perform oral sex, and during those acts, the white lab coats were instructing us how to perform the oral sex on each other. Oh boy, I was so embarrassed. It was my first time. I believe I lost my virginity to another super soldier in a deep underground military base, and that was also when I had my first kiss. My very first kiss. So when I say my life was stolen from me, every aspect of my life was stolen from me. And please, if you have a wrench, use it in my chat room. I'm not going to tolerate garbage. If you're not sure whether or not to block a person, that's fine. Remove their comment. I'll block the person later. So I remember being in this room with this little boy, and during the act of intercourse, what I believe they were trying to get us to do was have an orgasm. And when you have an orgasm, your souls light up and they combine. They intertwine. And that's a spiritual connection, a spiritual bond. It's a tie. It's a silver cord. Many people call it by many different names. So I have to digress 1 second. If my cell phone rings, I must get it. As I've told you before, I am grieving and in mourning right now for the loss of a father figure in my life. So if this phone rings, I will pause this video, take the call, and come back. However, since Wicked does not take time off, neither shall I, because I believe I'm Yahweh's chosen, and Yeshua's living light is going to expose the darkness here and now. Anyway, the young boy and I, during the act of intercourse, he had whispered in my ear, "Holly, bury your face in my neck and forget that the 2 white lab coats are here. You have to have an orgasm." And what is an orgasm? I was only 13 years old. I had my first kiss with this boy, and now here I am in a room doing that stuff? Is what I was thinking and feeling inside at the time. So I buried my face in his neck, and I have the gift of spirit eyes. So when the orgasms commenced, I was able to see our souls light up and intertwine together. How humiliating, embarrassing, and oh, and those lab coats just watched us intently. I thought that was pretty gross and disgusting, especially on their part. When me and the little boy were done, we had gotten cleaned up. I was getting dressed. I had gotten dressed, so was he, and we were in this room, and we were tying our shoelaces, and the little boy looked at me, and he saw the distress I was going through, and he said to me, "Holly, you're not my first. You're not my first, but you're my best." And I just leaned over and I put my head on his shoulder at that point, because he was my first kiss and he was my first. And the little boy was trying to comfort me. There was another time, I believe, they had brought us kids down to Peru. I believe we were in our teenage years, so, or later teenage years, late teens. I can't give you a specific number. But there were a bunch of us kids brought down to Peru. We were on an assignment at this point. And not to get into detail about the assignment, but there came a time when a different little boy and I were told we had to have intercourse with each other. I believe that they made us have intercourse because when you have intercourse, it creates that tie and that bond. And we were in Peru as super soldiers. We were on assignment. We were going off to fight. And I was paired up with this other boy. So they made us have intercourse with each other so we could create that spiritual tie. And I believe that they made us do this because, see, us children, I'm gonna digress. Us children, I was trafficked with a bunch of other children. So being a super soldier is basically, in my mind, being a supernatural soldier. I understand that you have soldiers in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and all of that. Well, that's one aspect of being a soldier. What I was a super soldier. And when I say super soldier, I think to myself all the time, supernatural soldier. All of us had telepathy capabilities. Could, all of us had psychic abilities. All of us would be able to leave our body and astral travel, astral project, and remote view to the other child. The group of us were trained together and to act as a uniform unit. I believe sex was incorporated into that. So in Peru, this other super soldier and I were paired up and we were made to have intercourse. And I remember, excuse me for laughing, it's out of nervousness. And it's sad that I feel like I even have to explain my emotions because I know a lot of people troll me. A lot of people are thick-headed and others just want to pick me apart because it seems fun to them to put me down so they can feel better about themselves and their own lives. This little boy and I didn't, excuse me, little boy, this other super soldier and I didn't want to have sex with each other. In this regular, normal life that we all live, you all live, I'm here too, we would have never chosen each other. We were not sexually attracted to each other. We just wanted to be platonic friends. We were good with that. We were good platonic friends. But we were forced to have sex so we could create that spiritual bond. So that way, when we went out on this assignment, every step he took, I was in sync with him. He ran, I ran. He stopped, I stopped. And it was just intuition. That's a bad word. We were synced up with each other. We knew what each other was thinking, feeling. We knew how each other moved and how each other stepped. And when you're sent out on an assignment and you want to be successful on that assignment or mission, you need to know your partner. There was a third time. Now this, I'm going to get really embarrassed. There was another time that Black Operations, another super soldier, and I'm from Black Operations, and there's a lot of super soldiers from Black Operations. Black Operations is not only specific to Navy SEALs and assignments that you guys hear about and read about from the military, but I'm a part of Black Operations. It's another facet. I was a part of Black Operations. It's another facet. It's another entity, so to speak, a separate and distinct entity of Black Operations, but still Black Operations. I was working on a project, and Black Operations had come into my home one evening, and we were discussing an assignment or mission, and again, we were forced to have sex. So this other super soldier and I were talking, and we knew what we had to do because, again, I was paired up with this other super soldier. And him and I were talking about the fact that we had to have intercourse. And I told him I was in my 20s at this time. I can tell you that much. I was in my 20s. Definitely my mid 20s. And I said to this other super soldier, I said, listen, I've never had love made to me in my entire life. Meanwhile, in this regular life, I just divorced my ex-husband. I'll tell you his name. His first name was Ryan. He used to punch me and belittle me. He would, uh, he used to punch me in my breast so hard that it caused nerve damage that I still suffer from to this day. And I'm 44 now. So I was definitely in my mid 20s when this event occurred, and I was divorced. But getting back to my super soldier testimony, because I'm trying to make it easy for people to understand by saying I lived a double life. I had two lives in one. This normal life that I've experienced just as you had, but then the other life, I was a super soldier. I served for 37 years of my life as a super soldier, and I'm 44 now. So this other super soldier made love to me that night, and then we were sent off on an assignment. Pretty embarrassing, I think. I'm going to digress. If you ask me, it's pretty embarrassing because I was asking someone to make love to me because I never experienced it before. And I was in my mid-20s at the time. When this other super soldier and I, in my mid-20s, were sent off onto a mission, I was very outgoing, very popular, which I don't know how that happened because in high school I was always considered a nerd, geek, dork, and everybody in the school system wanted to kick my ass for one reason or another and bully me and put me down and belittle me. But when I was sent off on this assignment, apparently I was missing for 3 weeks. I was told when I was very young that I have a clone. So while I'm away, no one would miss me in this normal life while I was away living the super soldier life because a clone was put in my place. And that should answer a lot of people's questions. Yes, I have clones. Not that I have them, but they were made of me. I'm trying to make sure I get my wording right. And anyway, I had this one best friend, and we'll call her D right now. While I was sent off for weeks on this mission, my friend D kept texting me and calling me, but I wouldn't respond. And her and I spoke 3 times a day. She was great. I enjoyed hanging out with her. She was one of the few girlfriends I had in my life that just, boy, I got a kick out of her. We would laugh, we'd have a great time, we'd go out dancing. She had invited me to a mutual friend's birthday party. I helped her plan it. We were gonna go have 2 weekends of really great fun. At the time, I was working for AT&T, so come Friday night and Saturday night, I'd be out. Actually, Friday night to Sunday night, I'd be out with my girlfriend Dee, living life and enjoying myself. But when I was sent off to this one mission, I turned up missing for 3 weeks. Dee noticed it. She noticed I wasn't calling her back, I wasn't texting her at all. Our friendship actually fell apart because of it. I think, if you ask me. When I finally did turn up, Dee said to me, "Where have you been for 3 weeks?" I looked at her and I said, "What are you talking about? I just saw you last weekend. We spent the whole weekend together." She goes, "No, we did not. You missed so and so's birthday. Then the weekend after that, we had plans. The third weekend, it, it was another weekend that passed by, and now here you are. Where have you been?" I'm like, "No, I'm telling you, Dee. I just saw you last weekend. We just went out and had a great time. We were planning so and so's birthday." She did not hear hide nor hair of me. So it is obvious and apparent that during those 3 weeks, I was gone off onto a block operations assignment, and a clone was left here on my place to continue on going to work at AT&T, to continue on taking care of my grandmother, the household, to continue paying my own personal bills. But when it came to answering personal phone calls, apparently the clone did not do that. I'm going to have to send her a link to this video. She helped me a few years back understand a few things that were going on with me. And I tell you what, I still consider her one of my best friends to this day. And she's really put up with me. Excuse me, guys. But I can't say that. I'm going to hold that thought for another time. I don't know about you, but this is pretty hard for me to get through. I believe that I was used in a breeding program. I was very young. I can't tell you how old because, again, I have fragmented memories. They're fuzzy. However, as time goes on and I continue walking in accordance to the Holy Bible and trying my heart out and having a heart after Abba, the memories become clearer, and I can understand things better and give you more detail. And it's only through the blood of the Lamb that I am able to piece my brain back together and restore my life. I believe I was used a part of a breeding program. I was actually a very young girl. Now, as I've told you before, my grandfather was in the Navy in World War II on a minesweeper ship, and if you do your research and studies, you will find out that minesweeper ships were used in the Philadelphia experiment. So it's no wonder why, because of my grandfather, that through Project Looking Glass, I was tracked my whole life. I heard that spiritual gifts jump generations, so it would go from my grandfather, jump over my biological mother, and then land on me, is my understanding of how that works. Because again, I'm multi-generational. I'm a multi-generational ex-super soldier. But I was a young girl, and in this fragmented memory I have, I was in what looked like a hospital room with my grandmother, who was a military wife. I believe she was also an unwilling candidate of these projects. And if you ever asked my grandmother and my grandfather how they met, they would always tell you, well, Papa asked Gram out on a date, and after the first date, they got married. They went on one date and got married. But that was it. That was all they knew about each other. In my fragmented memory, it seemed as though I was in a hospital room. My grandmother was standing to my right, and then walked in a tall, thin man. He said, "She's pregnant." My grandmother held my hand. They took the baby out of me, and I do not know what happened to it. I'm going to have to digress. I need to lash out here for a moment, if you don't mind. I feel my blood boiling. I have heard people of all walks of faith, especially the one they claim is similar to mine. And well, I'm a Jesus lover. I have a direct connection to Heavenly Abba. Other people say Christian. I've had a lot of Christians reach out to me and say, that was a demonic baby. It's not human. It's being used for the dark side. Let it go and get over it. Okay, that is a number one thing you do not say to an ex-super soldier that's a part of the breeding program. And how would you know? That child still came out of my body, regardless that it was during a human experimentation in a my lab. Don't be so certain of yourself. Because I'll tell you what, my attorney, who is deceased, Gregory A. Molyneux, he prayed for me and my child. And how dare you put it down? Or me, for that matter. That hurts me. So I hope through my testimony, other people don't say asinine things like that. I'm going to digress further. I understand there's other people out in the world, other human beings, that willingly have sex with little gray aliens, and they willingly summon principalities and dark powers to come in and have tantric sex with them and get them pregnant, still current in this modern day, just like back in the days of Noah. Now that to me is demonic. And even then, I should not be certain of myself. But people that willingly go out to have sex with and get pregnant by evil entities, fallen angels, principalities, dark forces, they're willingly trying to get the Antichrist spirit. That, I think, in that situation, it might be necessary for you to tell the person what they're doing is wrong and evil and spitting in God's eye. What happened to me is a human experimentation. And it would be really nice if people learn compassion. Excuse me. It's all coming out wrong. I had a very hard time about the breeding program. It about crushed me. And see, that's kind of why I'm hesitant to even give my testimony, because of how others respond and what they say, or they have a ministry, or they're an authoritative figure, or they are in a career that is in a leadership role ruling others. They say things that are harmful. I come from the dumps. I didn't ask to be put in one. I was born into one. And if I turned out good, who are you to say that any child that comes out of me won't turn out good? Who are you to steal my hope? Who are you to make me feel like that big? That big. That hurts, guys. There's another part of my testimony that I would like to clarify, because somebody did a Facebook video and they said that George Bush Sr. raped me. I never claimed that. I never said it. So I'm going to give you my testimony for my words, not for what they say. They may have misunderstood my testimony. Who knows? But here I am going to give it to you myself. When I was in the dumps, can I take a moment, because I want to get my emotions in check. I want to lower my voice and relax. I want this video to come out good. And I feel I'm doing it all wrong. And these are some real hard topics for me right now. Excuse me, let's take like a 10-second break with each other. Another memory from deep underground military bases that I have is I think I was a young adult. I don't know which dumb precisely. But what I remember is walking into the dumb and an arm, a long mechanical arm, reached out and scanned George Bush Sr.'s forehead. It then reached out and scanned my military handler's forehead, and then it reached out and scanned my forehead. The doors open. We walked into the deep underground military base. As we were marching down the corridor, I remember looking to my right, and there was a classroom full of young children. They were all dressed the same, sitting in a classroom setting, and there were 2 or 3 adults at the front of the classroom. It all looked German style, Nazi style to me. I remember the children looking over. They paid no mind to George Bush Sr. They looked at my military handler, recognized him, and then when they looked at me, because us children in these dumbs were trained together, so we have telepathy skills and mind reading skills and such. The children looked at me and said, "Who's that with so-and-so? Who is she?" We kept marching down the hall. We went into the corridor. George Bush Sr., it was a small office-like room, dark lighting. No, I do not remember George Bush Sr. wearing glasses when he spoke to us. I understand he wore them out in the public, but not in a dumb. My military handler sat to my left, and I sat here with George Bush Sr. in front of us. He was talking to my military commander and I. George Bush Sr. then stood up and walked out of the room, and I immediately looked at my military handler and I said, "I don't like him." My military commander said, "Holly, you're not always going to like your bosses." And that's all I remember. So George Bush Sr., one of our ex-presidents, is a programmer to ex-super soldiers. He was my boss in the dumb. I can't give you more specifics than I am now. This is all I am able to recall. And I've been giving this testimony now for 4 years. I couldn't stand him. I'm going to digress. In this normal life, when George Bush Sr. would always get up to the podium and give his speeches, he would talk about the 1,000 points of light, and he would say words that were very triggering, and they triggered us super soldiers. George Bush Jr., his son, I'm not quite sure I would call him a programmer, but I would definitely say he is carrying the torch for his father. And he is just as evil and corrupt and disgusting as his father. And they should both be cast to the foot of the cross. By the way, I never voted for them. And people that say they love George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr., I can't fathom that. And you know what? I don't want to even try to understand it. There was another time, another fragmented memory I have where, excuse me for my voice, where this is a bad video. I'm going to have to redo this video. There's another fragmented memory I have. I believe us super soldiers were sent over, us children from the dumps, locked in a cage. We were sent over as young adults. I believe it was to Africa, or at least that's what it looked like, was Africa. I remember getting off the plane with my military commander in front of me, and I was following him. And I look across and I see Barry Obama, you know, his wife, who's really a man, posing as our first lady when he was president, Michael. They had 3 kids. 2 men can't have babies unless they go to a doctor and do another human experimentation to create one. But Barry Obama, our ex-president, was over in Africa, I believe it was. And when I looked across the field, I saw him in the military wears fatigues. I saw him in army fatigues, and he was carrying a weapon, walking across the field. Barry Obama to this day is an active super soldier, from my understanding and from my recollection. And you guys all voted him to be president. I do not understand why. He has clones too. You all say when Barry Obama was president, he got so stressed out and that's why his hair turned gray. No, that's a clone. Even Queen Elizabeth, when you look at her today versus 3 years ago, she looks different. I'm not saying it's a clone. That's another topic of conversation. But you can't gloss over these things. Barry Obama is an active super soldier. Those 3 kids that they were prancing around are satanically ritualized and abused kids that were stolen from their families. Again, 2 guys such as Barry and Michael cannot have kids. And the First Lady, Michael, when Barry was president, that's a guy, not a woman. Why are you calling her a First Lady? Excuse me, him a First Lady. Why are you calling him, Michael, a First Lady? Today, Mr. President Donald J. Trump, sir, is our president. His wife is a real female. She deserves to be called the First Lady. I'm offended as a female. That people recognized Michael, aka Michelle, as a woman, and she's not. The outrage. I'm offended. I'm insulted. What are you guys thinking out in the public? Okay, you're not thinking. I get it. You know what? I'm going to have to redo this video because my alters and I have very strong feelings. And as I am reintegrating, I can't help but express how I'm feeling. I'm not even sure I want to give you the last thing I was going to discuss. The last story, I got a picture to go along with it. A drawing, excuse me. A drawing I made. I think right now I'm going to set it aside. Oh boy, I'm going to have to do better at these videos, excuse me. I'm going to say hello to my chat room. Galen, don't worry, I blocked him. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew trolls were going to get on this in my chat room and start up with me today. So I blocked him, Galen. Them, him, it, her. Whatever it relates to, it's blocked. All right, so I'm going to have to rewatch this video, and I'll probably try to remake it and do better. I really wanted to keep my voice calm and low and just give you my testimony. And I feel like I failed to do so, and I deeply apologize. So without further ado, let me address my chat room. Any questions you have, I'm just going to skim through comments as quick as I can, but I want to give my love to all my loved ones and all my viewers and my spiritual family. So, good morning, Officer Hot. Hi, Kaylee. Addie, it's great to see you as usual. Kayla, not Kaylee. I'm sorry, Kayla. It's great to see you. Hi, Galen. Allison Hunam. I need to give you a ring back. I want to check on you and make sure you're okay. If I don't get a chance now, I still have your number in my cell phone, and I'd like to check up on you and make sure you're all right. I heard about Angela Merkel. Hi, Mike Smith. I love you too humbly, Allison. Hi, Susan Cronus. Yes, I am Susan grieving. But today, as I sat behind my computer, I started thinking evil doesn't rest, so neither will I to serve Heavenly Abba. And the first thing he's done for me, or the first thing he's asked me to, Heavenly Abba has called me to give my testimony. And I want to serve him. So, plus, being able to give my testimony makes me feel closer to him and like I'm doing something good. And I've been feeling really bad about the loss in my life. And I'm going to take time to grieve that loss. And anybody trying to cut it short, I will end up cutting them short and blocking them. Because from my understanding, when Jewish people ever lost someone from their family, they would stay inside their homes for 7 days and grieve. I deserve that time. I love you, Susan. Hi, V. Hagbard Sealine. I hope I said your name right. Hi. Jeff Dillman. It's great to see you and say hello. Thank you. Sunrise. You're another one I want to give a phone call to. Okay, Adeline and Allison, they're friends, so don't ever block those two, okay? I'll take them off on block. They're friends. Clara, it's great to see you. US Reboots. Yahweh bless you in Yeshua's name. Thank you for your compliment. Why would they let me go? Allison, I believe that they let me go so the powers that be have a chance to gloat. And so they have a chance to expose how successful they were. Whatever Hitler was searching for, whatever Hitler was doing, he's been successful. So is Joseph Mengele. Yes. Yes, Addie. Tesla was a very, very smart man. Hobbit, I love you. How are you? Shiaria Madness Awakening. Laura Eisenhower. I don't believe so, no. I'll have to look her up. Thank you. And I pray I'm saying your name right. Forgive me. Galen. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I don't commune with things. I only talk to Yahweh. Behold the hand, behold the nail. Actually, it's Yud-Ha-Veh-Ha. I only talk to Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and I only talk to the Holy Spirit. And that's it. Everything else I send to the foot of the cross. Even when Heavenly Abba has sent good angels to me or warring angels, even when I saw Ezekiel's wheel, I've always cast that to the foot of the cross, and I keep casting it to the foot of the cross. When it stays and I get that tap on the shoulder from the Holy Spirit, then I know it's heaven sent and relax. It's meant to be. But when I see anything, I always send it to the foot of the cross immediately. Or is it Chiara, Madness Awakening? I'm saying your name all wrong. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I apologize. Please forgive me. Yes, Hobbit, it hurts me. So forgive me. I wanted to keep my emotions under wraps during this video. Addie, you're an inspiration, my girl. I love you. Crystal Lane, how are you? Shalom. Saya. Am I saying your name right? Siia. Welcome. Abigail Rose. Yael Shaqued. Abigail Rose. Shalom and welcome. Lynn O. Crystal Lane, how are you? Hi, Lynn O. Wait, my screen just... Allie. Thank you, Allie. Yes, we are friends like that. You're my sister. You're my friend. I just really need to call you back. We talked 2 months ago, and I'm like, I'll call you right back, and I haven't done that, and please forgive me. Thank you so much. Shaquid, pronounced Shaquidets. Abigail. Abigail? I'm saying your name all wrong. I'm so embarrassed. Forgive me. So, does anyone have any questions or other comments now that I gave everyone shout outs? And I hope that the person Jennifer Lassard, Opus Focus, it's great to see you. Joycey, I got to give you a call back too. Christine Camacho, I'm sending my love and hugs back to you, sweetie pie. Aryan Princess, if just another truth channel was trolling me and I blocked them and I was wrong, I apologize. But I'll be honest, when Galen throws a wrench, well, I think this is the first time he threw a wrench. So I just, I stand behind my mods. Tree Barking Dog, welcome. Who else did I miss in my chat room? If I missed anyone, I'm truly sorry. Oh, Jennifer Lassard, welcome. No, President Donald J. Trump, sir, is, from my understanding, not evil. From my understanding, Yahweh is working through him, and he is doing the best that he can. Sorry that someone blocked you or deleted your message, which now I'm going to go back up through my chat room. I want to see something. Oh, yeah, just another truth channel. You're blocked. You're done. Galen threw a wrench. I stand behind him. That's why he has a wrench. So, thank you, Opus Focus. Jesper! Oh, it's Jesper. How are you? Yes, Jennifer Lassard. I don't think he's evil at all. He is. I never saw him in a dome. I have no memories of him. So I think he's kind of on the outskirts of everything. I think he's doing well. Of course, there's a lot of other things he could be doing better, but you take the good with the bad and you have to weigh them. And none of us know what it's like to be president. So I can only imagine it's not easy because hypothetically, what if you want to become president and do something good for the world? You're not going to be able to because you still have powers that be above you that won't allow you to do certain things. Um, like I think when you're president, you only have a certain amount of squiggle room where you can make a difference. And then the rest, they just don't allow you to make a difference. So I like our current president very much. I wish I could talk to him for a moment. I think I have a drawing to give to him about a dream that Yahweh gave me. I I have hope in our current president. Everywhere, not everyone. I'm sorry, Jennifer, excuse me. So, the liberals. Oh my goodness. That's probably why Target went under is because the liberals just had to have bathrooms that you could walk in depending on who you related to that day, whether it was female or male. And that's inappropriate. Me as a woman, when I walk into a ladies' room, there better not be a man in there. Small children being accompanied by their mothers and taken care of by their mothers, that's acceptable, of course. But when I walk into a ladies' room, I don't want to see a man. I'm conservative or Republican or something along those lines. Liberal, Who's Q Army? Oh, QAnon? Is that who you're referring to? I don't follow QAnon. Um, I've heard about things, but I tend to keep myself wrapped up with my online ministries and other things. Yeah, no, I'm not a part of QAnon's army. Um, I've heard good things come out of QAnon, but I'm not a follower. So if that helps. Evelyn Miles, I love you. It's great to see you. You're an Anon? I believe that QAnon's doing good things, just I mean no disrespect to QAnon or anyone. I just haven't had a chance to really dive in and follow. So forgive me. Ooh, talk about the white hats, Jennifer. I heard in 9/11, in one of the towers, the white hats were tricked and brought into one of the towers on 9/11, and they were all shot and killed. And then the tower, and they were in one of the twin towers, and then it fell. But that's another conversation at a different time. And there's someone they probably won't do it, but I would love to invite to that conversation because I believe they support the white hats and know about all the white hats, but I'd have to reach out to that person. That person's not public, so. Jacqueline Bradley, Yahweh bless you in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. You are Q. I'm going to have to try to tune into Q now and see what's going on. To be honest, I'm not great with politics. So I tend not to follow them. Oh, well, you guys are a miracle. Now you're making me blush. Liz Crocken has an article about Mueller pulling a coup. Not sure what to believe in. Cochrane is pretty credible. All right, I'll have to look into it. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. There will probably be a part 4, maybe a part 5. MM11. It's believed that Trump and the military are Q, and if you believe Simon Parkes AI or Al, I'm not sure. I think it's Al as well, but for positive and goal of bringing down the cabal and end all child trafficking. Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about the white hats. Lovable, what are you doing? I love you, Lovable. By the way, I think the Kraken escaped the moat that you built around my castle, having the Kraken protect me from other trolls. I think he escaped. We need another one. I'm kidding. It's just so great to see you, Lovable. It's really great to see you. Artificial intelligence. Okay, so I was right about that comment. If you believe Simon Parkes AI, I stay away from artificial intelligence, but that's hello, my king. I love you, my king. Hey, if you have a hangout, maybe I could join. Say hi to everyone. You know, it's been a really long time, Lovable. Who released the Kraken? I didn't release him. I think he escaped. Either that or I fed him so much and he just ran away. Lovable Troll's been a longtime friend of mine. Very good friend. I used to always tease him and say, my love, my man, and my king. Lovable, I can understand about detoxing from conspiracy theories. Yeah, it starts, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to keep thinking about. You know, you think about conspiracy theories, and for someone like me, I'm like, I got 50 different thoughts all at once racing through my mind, and they all make sense. And how do I make sense of it? And I feel at times, I'm going to word it wrong, but I feel like my life is a conspiracy theory and I'm stuck right in the middle and I can't always get out and break free. It gets to be a lot and very burdensome. And I feel like you get stuck in your own thoughts and then you're not out living life and enjoying yourself. And you definitely have to have that balance. So you'll find another Kraken. Good. I want 11 Krakens now. 11. I'm going to need them. I haven't stopped stepping on toes. The Flying Swede, I'll have to reach out to him. The last I spoke to him, he's doing well. I do not think he got married last December, sadly. JG, I got to reach out to her. And Lynn, yes, I typed to her before I started the video. I texted her yesterday. I'm catching up to things. You're cycling and swimming instead. I wish I could join you. You and I would be doing more laughing than anything. I'm glad to know that you're getting out and about, Lovable. I myself am trying to do that as well. Well, thank you, Jacqueline. May Yud-Hah-Veh-Ha bless you and your loved ones mightily in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. All right, guys, I'm going to shut this down and go. I'm going to rewatch this video and I don't know. I might take it down. I really didn't want any emotions coming out, and I wanted to just get through my testimony. Oh, I thank you, my king. Love. I put makeup on today and a little bit of lipstick and some blush. Sadly, I've lost a lot of weight, and I was up to almost 130. Now I was like 125, 128, and now I'm down to about 105. So I'll get there. Tree barking dog, you are too kind, and thank you. Well, listen, guys, I want to tell you all again, and this is important. I ran a video yesterday about the loss I endured, or that I'm grieving about now, of my attorney and father figure, who also gave me a safe house and a side job to supplement my disability income. And he encouraged me to stay close to Heavenly Abba. He encouraged me to give my testimony and to not fear and self-doubt, which are things that Heavenly Abba's taught me. But what's important for me to tell all of you in my chat room and other people that'll view this and then reach out to me later or send me a private email or instant message, I want you all to know that I truly feel that Heavenly Abba led me to you guys so I could have a spiritual family. And just as much as I loved my attorney and how special he was to me, I love you guys the same, and you're just as special to me too. And I love you very much, and I'm always praying for all of you morning, noon, night, and midnight in Yeshua's name. And please count me as one on your formal prayer list of who is praying for you all the time in Yeshua's name. But I want each and every one of you to know how special you are to me, and I'm always thinking of you. I go driving down the road, and I'm always thinking of your names and your comments, and you all have touched my heart and left your footprint on my heart. You've all given me your shoulder and a hand and your prayers, and you've spent time with me, tons and tons of time with me. And I want you to know that I love you guys, and I lift you all up to Heavenly Abba. And I would not be sitting here right now if it weren't for all of you. And you're my blessings from Heavenly Abba. He blessed me with you. And it's really important that you all know that. I'm 5'6", Addie. I'm 5'6", and I'm terribly underweight. But with a little blush and eyeliner, I look pretty healthy. I'm teasing. Thanks, lovable. Although I do have severe anger issues. Joycey, I love you. Lou Girly, I will call you. I was going to give you a ring this morning. Congratulations, Lou Girly. Second time greatest meek grandmother in the world. As of 2 nights ago. The circle of life continues to age on. Lynn, oh, you're 5'6"? Me too. Me too. So, all right, guys, I really wanted you to know how important you are to me and what you guys mean to me in my life. And I really want to make you guys feel special and know that you're special. And Thank you for being in my life and touching me. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. So I love you all very much, and thank you for your time. And please have a beautiful and blessed day in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, and I'll be praying for you and all your loved ones in Yeshua's name. Thank you.